best week she had made something crazy, like 50K or something. So it was like, if it's less than 6, I'm upset. It's the person who is the most resilient will always win. I'm really good at getting in their head. So when I'm speaking to a customer, open body language, compliments, touching them, not standing too far back because you're trying to people please. And then I met other women and they were like, stripping's so glamorized. Stripping is glamorous if you let it be. Like for me, it's allowed me to live an amazing life, invest into my health, learn from amazing people, become educated. I think not last year, but the year before, I spent like 50K on education, just hundreds, and would just pass them to us. Like, I don't even know how many, like 400 or 500 at a time.
Oh, wow.
Like
amazing.
It was like he was passing us a piece of gum. Who used to go to that school was actually working at the club that night as a dancer, and she was only 18. And yeah, it was so crazy. The police ended up getting involved, and yeah, it was a whole situation. And he wanted me to walk all over his body with my high heels on, and I was doing it over his body.
I feel good. I knew that I would now. I feel good.
Welcome back to Spicy Waitress Diaries. I'm your host Tia, and this is Opal.
So we're here with Ariana. Ariana is a dancer in Melbourne. She's a very successful dancer. She's very healthy. She's got a great hustle, and today she's going to run us through her life, how she has a good life-work balance. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. Very excited to be here.
So tell us a little bit about your journey into the sex industry.
Funny story, actually. When I was 18, so I'm 25 now. So when I was 18, I was working at a restaurant and I really wanted to go on a holiday. And I done the maths and I was thinking, I'm not going anywhere, making $400 a week. So I found a stripper on Instagram and messaged her and asked her how much money she made. And she told me her best week she had made something crazy, like 50K or something. And I immediately was like, sold.
What?
Yeah, but she said like she would average about like 5,000 to 10,000 a week.
Yeah.
That was like a one-off crazy week.
Yeah.
But it was enough to convince me to book a one-way flight to Melbourne. So ended up coming to Melbourne, and it was actually interesting because I was initially just going to come and work for a month, save money, and then go back to my hometown and just, pretend I never done it. Funny.
Here we are.
7 years later.
Yeah.
Then I came to Melbourne, and it was actually crazy because I had an interview at the club I still work at now the next day, and I got to the Airbnb. I had only booked a room, not the whole Airbnb, and everyone who lived at the Airbnb were strippers at the club I was working at.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it really fell into place perfectly.
Yeah. It was meant to be.
I would love to know anyone who starts this job for a month and then leaves.
So when I first started dancing, it was pretty crazy and I had no clue what I was getting myself into. And I remember always showing up to work and I would make like fuck all money, like sometimes like 400 or 500. I'd be there all night, like the longest shift. And I remember seeing other women always doing so well, and I was so confused, like how come some women would make money and some wouldn't. And then I ended up partying a lot and just going down a really dark side of the industry. And then I, now 7 years later, have like changed that into a positive experience. So I feel like I've really lived through both sides of the industry, the negative side and the positive side.
So what does your kind of earnings look like now?
I like to work 4 to 5 nights a week. So I see it just as a full-time job. And I would say I like to always try and hit, if I'm doing 5 nights, at least 7 a week. But if I'm doing 4, 6, it's like 6 to 7.
Yeah.
But sometimes it'll be 8, sometimes it'll be 6.
$6,000. Yeah.
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 So it's like, if it's less than 6, I'm upset.
Yeah.
Is that pretty consistent?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Amazing.
Even
Yeah.
through winter and that?
Yeah.
Do you find it goes a bit quieter, or you just always have it?
I feel like for me, I just see it as like a Saturday would be like a minimum 2,000, whether there's no one in the club or it's busy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how it just always ends up. I feel like I always make the same amount of money on the same days or very similar range.
And what tips do you reckon you would have for now being able to do that? Because a lot of girls would go in and not make that much money.
Yeah, I find that interesting because the club I work at is definitely, I would say, the best in Melbourne. And sometimes on a Saturday in the change room, there'll be women saying, I haven't even made my door fee, which is like 150. I'm always shocked because if you actually go and look on the floor, there's so many people. But I feel like the best tricks are, I always say this to other people and other dancers, the person who is the most resilient will always win. Because sometimes it's really a resilience game. Like I have nights where sometimes it's 3 a.m. and I made like $500.
Mm.
But I still know I'm leaving with 2K. Like
Yeah.
I always just see it as like it's confirmed before I even get there. And I think it's like you just have to stay super resilient, talk to everyone, and have a strategy when you're talking to people.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I've seen you work, and I would say you've got like the best hustle. You're very intense. You give the client or the customer like a very good experience. How would you say like your hustling has sort of developed, and what's like the Ariana specialty?
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's I'm kind of like a master manipulator. I'm really good at getting in their head. So when I'm speaking to a customer, I will always do a really good introduction. And this is like once I learned how to do this like hustle sort of process, I do it on every single person. And I feel like since I learnt this, I have made consistent money ever since. So listen
Oh.
up, ladies. This is
There's the tip.
this is the secret. And it's so simple, but if you actually integrate it and do it properly, always can work out who they are, what they want, why they're there. So when I speak to someone, I'll do a good introduction and then I'm instantly asking questions that I'm gaining information from. So I'm not just chit-chatting for the sake of building like a relationship or connection. Yeah. So I'll ask them questions that I want to know information. So like, where were you before you came here? So like a question like that is going to give information on how drunk they are, the type of night they're having, and the type of person they are. And then I'm kind of like pulling out information from the questions I'm asking. And then when it comes time to offer a dance, I use their own language, intentions, and the type of person that they, you know, characteristics, whatever they're showing in the sale.
Yeah.
So like say I've like gathered information that they're out of town, it's their first night, they kind of got dragged here. I would offer, and maybe they seem a little bit more reserved, a little bit more shy. So I'm not going to say something like, let's go party and get crazy. I would say something like, why don't I take you somewhere where it's more isolated, you can relax, settle in, and we can have some fun together,
Yeah.
because it's less intimidating.
Yeah.
So I'm always trying to ask questions. So I'll ask about their night and then I'll offer them a lap dance. And while I'm doing this, I'm pairing it with open body language, compliments, touching them, not standing too far back. So like up in their personal space, looking in their eyes, and then offer the sale. If they say no, I don't even acknowledge it. Like I just move back into what I was doing before, ask more questions, get more information, and then ask again.
Okay, so you won't walk away after they say no.
No. No.
I love
They say no. They'll be like, no, I'm not ready. I'll be like, oh, that shirt's nice. Where'd you get that? Like I just pretend it didn't happen.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Like I'm not like, oh, like you don't want to go with me. Like I just
Mm.
pretended I
Yeah.
goes over my head.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
only yeses.
So dumb. Yeah. I'm like, like
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Lovely.
Yeah. I do this in a couple of minutes. It's like a short process.
Okay.
I feel like women go wrong when they spend so much time talking to the customer and then they're just basically giving their time for free. So it's like, why is he going to invest money into you when you've stood there for 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Yapping?
Give them a taste and then
Yeah.
away.
Exactly.
Do you have a,
Yeah.
a partner that you work with? Like I know some girls double
Work
up.
together.
I love all my friends, but there's no one I really like hustling with consistently.
Mm.
Because I feel like for me, I'm always trying to really maximize my time. So if we're like, say I'm talking to a guy and I've got a friend with me and my guy says yes and her guy, she's still hustling him, she's still talking. And then my guy said yes. And then we're kind of like, oh, like we're going to go, you guys coming. And then if he's like, oh, no, I'm not ready, it kind of just slows you down.
Yeah.
So me personally, I don't like hustling with anyone, but sometimes I'll say, oh, let's just go try this person together. But I prefer to just do it on my own.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a control freak, you know, I want to control all
Yeah.
the variables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that.
It's more intimate as well, I feel like, when you are one-on-one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The double up would be more of a party vibe.
Mm.
Yeah. But I feel like if I find a customer and it is a party vibe and I've got some friends near me or something, I'll go and grab them and try bring them into the booking.
Yeah.
But I don't like feeling like we're stuck together.
Yeah.
Kind of a free spirit. I just want to like go do
I
my
remember
thing.
when I used to work as well, when you would be like trying to upgrade, and if the guy doesn't want to do it, you're like, I don't want to be stuck with you the whole night, but we can do this together, but we'll lock in. That,
Yeah.
Like I'm not missing out on money because you're not
Yeah,
doing
exactly.
as well.
Yeah.
Like it sounds a bit harsh, but it's like you're there for one purpose, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not there to, I always see it as well. We're not there to make friends. Like while in the process of being there, you can make friends. But I think girls get too caught up on, especially you see it in the girls who like to hustle in a pair. They always will just stay together.
Mm.
And it's kind of like you're missing opportunities
Yeah.
because you're trying to people please.
And
Definitely.
Yeah.
Do you also find that like if you earn more, she's going to get mad at you or
Yeah, how is your experience with like making friends, jealousy in the industry, like working with women when it comes to money?
That's a good question. I feel like I am someone who I don't mind talking about money.
Yeah.
For me, talking about money has showed me what's possible. Because I remember when I started, I thought 1,000 on a Saturday was good. And then I met other women and they were like, oh yeah, like I'd do that on like a Monday. And like, yeah, I remember this British girl when I was a baby stripper. She was saying she was angry that she had only made $1,000 and it was midnight. And I remember thinking, oh, that's interesting because I like hustle all night for $1,000 and leave at like 8 a.m.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
it opened my mind. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. If that's possible for her, I can do it too, you know? But for me, I feel like the most toxic thing I see at the strip club is every woman wants to say, I'm a girl's girl. I love women. I love supporting women until she's not successful. And then other women's success is her failure or her loss. And I think it's the craziest thing ever. But it is always the women who are like, I'm a girl's girl. Like, I love supporting women. But it's like, you only love supporting women when you're up.
Yeah.
You don't like supporting women when you're down. You know what's so interesting about, I feel like people like to bring down someone who's more successful than them. I seen it happen when V came to our club. And she, you know, people were so intimidated and so triggered by her. And they thought she was just lying about her success. Like they couldn't believe that, you know, one of us had like got out of the industry and like made a name for herself and, you know, done so well. So they all were like, you know, she's lying about that or it's this and it's that. But, you know, if you look at her life, it's like obvious. She's not lying.
So toxic, isn't it? It's so toxic. You think with the like pressures of, you know, the outside world on strippers and what they think, and then also the dramas of dealing with men, you would think women kind of bind together in this industry more than they do, but it's not really the case.
no.
Yeah.
I think as well, like in business, like essentially you're all your own business person, and in business people do bring you down, but imagine everyone in one space, like everyone sees it, you're right in their face. And yeah, if you can see a guy and someone's gone up to them and got money and then you're sitting there not making any money, and like people talk in the change rooms and all talk about how much they made, like how you're not going to feel like shit.
Well, I mean, it kind of boils down to like your own self-esteem and your own self-worth. Like you have a very high self-esteem, very like high energy. And I feel like before you said you're a very resilient person as well. What do you think, like throughout your journey of the like working in the clubs and stuff, how did you go about developing that?
Yeah, I think I actually did develop a lot of resilience. I think I've always been someone who, if I want to do something, I always make it happen.
Yeah.
I feel like if you set your mind to anything, you can do it. But I definitely wasn't always as confident as I am now. I think that was definitely built a lot over time. But I think, and this is like tying back into like what you were saying before, I think women will, like there's two types of people. People will see someone successful and feel inspired, or they'll feel triggered. I feel like if you're looking at your life and you're not happy with the results you're having, like at the club, outside of the club, whatever, you could either be a victim to it and think, oh, you know, poor me, it's not working out for me, this is so hard, or you could just see it as a challenge to overcome. Yeah, so people will either have a victim mentality and they'll stay in the problem forever, or they will, you know, swallow their pride, swallow their ego and say there's actually room for me to step into more, and they'll go into it. So for me, I've had to do that a lot over and over and over again. And that is the only way you're going to get where you want to go. Like if you're seeing successful people and you're always triggered, you can't celebrate them, you're never going to be in a place where you're going to be able to celebrate yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to stay in that trap over and over and over again. So if you really want to build confidence, you need to stay in integrity to what you actually desire. So if you desire to make more money, you need to then actually show up and take the actions to become a better hustler, to learn sales, to learn how to take better care of your mental health. So I think for me, I've become confident from knowing what I want, actually going after it and proving to myself I'm capable, I can do this.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again. Like it's not like you do one thing and you're like, oh, amazing. Like it's all the small things too. Like if you say, I want to go to the gym, like I want to change my body, I want to feel better, then actually go do it. Don't just say it.
Yeah.
That's what kills confidence.
Definitely.
Empty promises. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love how you've come into the industry and you're not just like, easy money, get my clothes off and, you know, the money's falling at my feet. Like, I love how you've taken it on like a serious job that you can actually grow in and develop yourself in.
Thank Thank you.
Mm.
That's really cool to look at it like that. Like stripping's so glamorized. It's because there's two types of, people. Like people will come into the industry and they're partying and they're seeing it as, a paid night out, and they're focusing on their appearance, like maybe, wearing designer or living a luxurious lifestyle. And I think that's where it becomes glamorized. But for me, I actually think stripping is glamorous if you let it be. Like for me, it's allowed me to live an amazing life, invest into my health, learn from amazing people, become educated. I think not last year, but the year before, I spent like 50K on education, just learning from so many people. And it was so good. Such a good investment. Tax write-off too. Education. Yeah, so good. So for me, stripping actually is glamorous. Like I live a glamorous life because I'm able to afford what I want. I can just give my family money if they need it, buy things. If I want something, I never have to think about it. Yeah. And it's allowed me to become confident, stay true to myself, become the best version of me. So for me, stripping actually is glamorous, but I've also been on the other side where it's, shit and I'm focusing on partying and it's not good. I honestly think this is just life, though. It's your perception.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What are some of the things that you learnt last year? You said you spent like 50K on like educational things. What are some of the things?
It was so good. I just was in different masterminds, like being in different environments, learning from different women. I was in V's program. That was really, really good. Really recommend that.
Yeah, because we have a link set up, which we share with our girls now. So hearing about the experience, we would love to know what your experience was like with her.
For me, I found V, like when I come across her, and I was literally saying this to her the other day. Initially, I seen her and I was triggered. I couldn't work it out. I was like, why do I feel triggered for this around this person? And I think she was a very great mirror. I realized I'm triggered because she's showing me where there's more things I can step into. So I feel like people in that situation might try to tear someone down.
Yeah.
But for me, I was like, why am I feeling triggered? So I leaned into it and I was like, it's because she's more successful. It's because she's got better habits. It's because she's doing all these things that I want to do that I'm not doing yet. So for me, having her in my corner, she's a very good mentor and a good leader because she's just super honest and direct.
Yeah.
So she's not going to sugarcoat things. Some people love this approach and some don't. For me, I love just being told things straight how it is. Like, I don't like fucking around. I think people like to sugarcoat things. So for her, she'll just say it. Yeah, exactly. She'll just say it how it is, and not because she's doesn't love you or whatever. She just wants you to get to what you want as soon as possible.
But that's another thing, like you saying all that shows how much emotional control you have and your resilience there. Like to be able to hold yourself when someone is just telling you bluntly like what you need to do and you're like, yep, okay. So how many years do you think you fell into the trap of partying, and when did you see the other side?
I am telling you girls, I was crazy. Like when I was 18, 19, I would be partying every single shift. When I initially started, I wasn't partying, and then I just wasn't making money. And then I started drinking and I realized I have got like the liquor confidence.
Yeah.
So then I started drinking a lot and then started doing drugs. I feel like I was in that season for about a year. And I just wasn't making money. And then I ended up saying to myself, I'm like, you just need to quit. Like, you're not even making money. There's no point flying to Melbourne, because I was flying back and forth at this point. So I was like, I'm just going to have a little break. And then I stopped and I worked at a cafe. It was so funny. They fired me.
Oh,
I was
really?
like, sign, I got to go back. For me, I started taking better care of myself when I got into a relationship with someone who was really healthy.
Yeah.
And I feel like you really become what you hang around.
Yeah.
So this person was a very good influence on me, especially at that time. So I kind of stopped partying because he would always be like, that's gross. Like, why are you doing that? And I was like, oh,
do
right.
how you really feel?
Yeah.
So that his influence actually inspired me a lot in a positive way. I initially worked with Wendy Stripology, and then I really learned from this point onwards how to hustle. So that was really good. So that was in 2019. Ever since then, I've never really had a dip in income. Since then. That's what I was saying at the start of the episode. When you just learn how to read a customer, give them the experience they want, it's really easy.
Yeah.
I think people give so much emotion to things. Like if someone says no, they make it a big deal and then they have to go downstairs and like change their outfit and do all these things. But I think if you can just remain neutral, work out what the customer wants, give them that experience, and then just stay resilient, like do that on repeat all night. I've always just wanted to be healthy because I came from an unhealthy family. So I think that also inspired me. Yeah.
Yeah. So you go to the gym a lot now.
Yeah. Go to the gym. The gym is medicine. I feel like taking care of your body is a blessing. Like so many people don't even have access to, clean water or groceries or anything. So I feel like it's a
Privilege.
it's such a privilege, yeah. So why not make the most of it?
Yeah. Go
And what's been your best night working?
Oh, so recently I had a 10K night. It was just under 10K. It was like $50 off or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
That's a lot for one night.
Yeah. And my friend had made the same amount. We were together with this one customer all night. And he had won a lot of money at the casino. It was like an old man and he was just generous. Like he was tipping us. He would just kept like grabbing hundreds and would just pass them to us. Like I don't even know how many, like 400 or 500 at a time.
Oh, wow.
Like,
Amazing.
like he was passing us a piece of gum. Like he'd just pull it out. Here you go. And that was really good.
So if that was your night, what was your week?
I think my highest week is probably like, I feel like in December it's always very good. I think my highest week would be around 16 or 17.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you had some pretty crazy experiences?
I've had so many.
Yeah. Tell us some.
Okay. I think like the two most disturbing was I was working at a club in Queensland and a guy came in pretty young, like maybe 30-ish, and he was a high school teacher. And he wanted me to pretend to be one of his students. And yeah, so crazy. And one of the students who used to go to that school was actually working at the club that night as a dancer. And she was only 18. And yeah, it was so crazy. The police ended up getting involved. And yeah, it was a whole situation.
Disgusting.
Disturbing, right?
Wow.
Yeah. How stupid is he going in there, like outing himself?
Yeah.
And he telling you like to do that.
Yeah. And he had an album on his phone he opened and showed me, and he had saved like all these photos from Facebook of his students. It was very weird.
Did he get locked up?
I don't know what ended up happening in the end because I was like doing a fly in, fly out, but the police did get involved and he got banned from the club. And I think the school would have had to be notified.
And fired him or
Yeah.
something. Wow, disgusting.
Yeah.
I had a school teacher once crack on to me at a function, at like a footy function.
Oh, wow.
But he was a sports teacher, so I was like,
The sports teachers are always the crazy ones.
We had a teacher who was not good looking at all, but he'd always be like, he hit on one of my friend's sisters when she left school, and he would make a comment like, "I love how short the girls' skirts are." It just
They're
not
so sick, aren't they?
Wow.
And you just think about how much is going on in the world. I'm like, I don't even want to have kids now.
No, literally.
It's so scary. I remember at my high school, I went to two different high schools. At one, two teachers got caught as pedophiles or like whatever and got arrested, and one of them was the vice principal.
The same thing. And
So
I
crazy.
wasn't at school then. My sister had gone through reception in year 1, and he was like this fat looking guy with the glasses, vice principal, and got locked up. But my sister had hugged him
Yeah, yucky. Yeah.
too many.
Some things that you get exposed to is,
Yeah, so disturbing.
Back to stripping. What's another story? You said you had two.
So I remember one night when I was pretty new to the industry, I met this guy and he was wanting me to like beat him up. Like I had the belt, was whipping him. He wanted me to kick him, punch him, all the things.
Yeah.
And the craziest thing was at the end, he was like laying on his back and he wanted me to walk all over his body with my high heels on. And I was doing it over his body, like not all my weight, but like walking on him. And he wanted me to walk on his face. His face with my heels on.
No, that's like
Yeah.
actual abuse.
That's what I thought. I was like, I think you need therapy.
You're
Like,
like,
do damage.
gave him a little kick though.
I feel like these types of clients, like if you're listening, I'd love to get some therapy. Like just beat up a guy. Like, you can get your kinks off. I can get some and get out.
Yeah.
We're open to it.
How much did you get paid for that?
I was a baby stripper, so I don't think I was even charging extra. I think we were in the VIP room though, so he probably had just booked an hour. So probably like the base.
Any tips we can give you girls? Any extras? Any fetishes? Price it up. Up. They want that special kink. So make as much money as you can off
Yeah, literally.
and
I-
stripper thing.
Yeah. And I think as well when asking for money, another tip as well is the smoother you can say something, the more the customer's going to receive it better. So when girls will be like, oh, like, can I have $50? They'll be like, oh, isn't there a cheaper dance? But if you could say something like, well, how about we start with $100? It just sounds more confident.
Yeah.
More
Yeah.
smooth. They're going to trust you more.
I know this is not for everyone, but a lot of my customers, I feel like I joke around with them a lot. So if you can make a joke out of what you're asking for, if you can use a pun or something like that, I think that delivers a lot better as well.
I think so too. Like, or even if they say something like, oh, that's so expensive, instead of, I think as well, always just staying in control of your emotions is important. So, or if they say, oh, it's not worth it, instead of being like, I'm worth it, like just be like, of course I'm worth it, babe. Give me your money. You know what I mean? And you play it off.
Yeah.
Or if they, I remember recently I had a customer who was like, oh, I bet you're a home wrecker. And I was like, yeah, babes, but we're wrecking your homes, aren't we? Now give me that cash. Do you know what I mean? And he gave it to me. But like if you are going to, you know, give into their stupid comment or let them, their comments dictate your piece, you're giving them all the power.
And I really feel like there are some men that come into the strip club just to have that experience where they can reject a girl or they can put a girl down that's like so much better looking than them. It's like, that's what they're getting off at.
It's the first time in their life they've been able to reject someone.
Yeah.
They think they're like so special.
Love that. We always end the podcast by asking what's something that nobody knows about you. It doesn't need to be sexual. It doesn't need to be anything to do with stripping. Just one thing that no one knows.
That's such a good question. Okay, one thing about me is I feel like I'm someone who I know everything about everyone, but lots of people actually don't really know me.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm someone who I have so much information in my head. Like whenever I meet someone, I'm like always asking so many questions, getting to know them, but only like I can count on my hand the amount of people who like really know me.
Okay.
Which
You're
I find
mysterious.
I'm a bit of a mysterious girl, yeah. But I think people wouldn't probably know that because I'm very bubbly and friendly.
Yeah.
So they probably think they know, but only a few do.
Like
Yeah.
Master manipulator.
Well,
Well, thanks so much for coming on our podcast. We'd love having you.
Thanks for having me.
Chats.
and that wraps up our episode. Please give us a like, share, and subscribe. See you on the next episode.